You open your banking app on a random Tuesday night. You didn't buy anything big this week, no rent, no big purchase, nothing you'd call a splurge. Somehow you're still down $400 from where you expected to be, and you can't point to a single moment that explains it. This is the kind of gap that used to only happen with big purchases. Now it happens every single week, and you don't even clock it. You scroll back through the week's charges looking for the culprit. Coffee, lunch, a grocery run, one late-night delivery order, a couple of app subscriptions you forgot you had. None of it felt like $400 while it was happening, because none of it actually felt like spending at all. Nobody explains to you. The card in your wallet is built on purpose to switch off the part of you that notices you're spending. It's not a metaphor. It's a documented effect, and it happens every single time you tap. This is the exact mechanism banks and retailers are quietly counting on every single day. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how that switch gets flipped and exactly how to flip it back yourself. Catch this, it doesn't cost you once and then stop. It costs you every single week forever in amounts too small to notice and too frequent to ever add up in your head. Multiply that by a year, and you're talking about a vacation, a car repair fund, or a real dent in debt that never got made. Researchers who study spending found people pay 12 to 18% more per purchase with a card than they would with cash in hand, purchase after purchase, without ever consciously deciding to spend more. On an average month of spending, that gap alone works out to between $408 and $612, money that leaves your account and you never feel it go. Your last grocery run, you tap the card, glance at the total for half a second, and you're already walking to your car with the cart. If you'd had to count out $87 in actual cash instead, you'd have looked at what was in the cart and put something back before you got to the register. That's the whole trick. Nothing about the store changed. The only thing that changed was how much your card let you feel. This is already making you rethink your last Target run. That's exactly the point of this video. This channel breaks down the money tricks nobody teaches you every single week in plain language with real numbers. Subscribe now so the next one actually finds you. The actual mechanism behind it. Handing over physical cash creates a tiny flash of discomfort in the moment. Researchers call it the pain of paying. It's not you being weak, undisciplined, or bad with money. It's just friction, and cash has that friction built in automatically, whether you want it or not. Peeling $20 bills out of your wallet to pay for a pair of sneakers versus tapping your phone against a reader for the exact same purchase. Same $20 either way. Completely different feeling in your body. One registers as an actual loss. The other registers as basically nothing happening at all. That gap between what you paid and what you felt is exactly where the extra spending sneaks in, purchase after purchase. T ran a real money experiment to test exactly this. Two groups of people bid on identical Boston Celtics tickets, same seats, same night, same game. One group could only bid using cash they had to hand over. The other group could only bid using a credit card. Seats, same game. The only difference between the two groups was what was physically in their hand when they paid. The card bidders were willing to pay up to double what the cash bidders paid for the exact same ticket to sit in the exact same seat. Here's the part that trips people up the most. You probably think debit is different from credit. Since it's your own money, there's no interest and no debt piling up. But your brain genuinely can't tell a debit card from a credit card in the moment you tap it. Both of them remove the same physical moment that used to make you flinch before you spent. That's the whole reason switching from credit to debit never actually fixes overspending on its own. Weirder than that, ask someone what they just paid for something only a few minutes after they paid with a card, and they'll usually guess low, sometimes by a lot. Cash spending, people remember almost perfectly, down to the dollar. Card spending just doesn't stick in memory the same way, like it barely registered as a real event. Exactly why your $15.99 streaming subscription doesn't feel like anything hitting your account. It's why a $6 delivery fee stacked onto every single order doesn't register as real money leaving. Your card is doing precisely what it was quietly built to do, moving your money without you ever noticing it move. Let's put the numbers side by side so you can see the actual gap. Cash is the baseline, zero extra spending, since you feel every dollar leave. Regular, everyday card swipes run 12 to 18% higher than that baseline. And in that controlled MIT bidding study, card bidders paid up to double the baseline price. It isn't some small, rare problem that only affects careless people. Debit cards alone now make up about 28% of every payment Americans make, more than cash, more than credit, more than anything else. It's not an occasional habit anymore. It's the default setting running underneath your entire financial life. Uncomfortable part, and it's worth sitting with for a second. Banks and retailers aren't confused about any of this, and they haven't been for years. The easier it is for you to pay without feeling it, the more you spend, and the more everyone downstream of that purchase makes. Contactless taps, saved card info, one-click checkout, none of that convenience showed up by accident. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's just business, and once you know it, you're no longer the easiest target in the room. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed to work, just not for you, and definitely not in your favor. Once you actually see that clearly, you can't really unsee it again. That flip in perspective is the whole reason this video exists. And that's genuinely good news, because it means the fix was never about becoming a more disciplined person. You need more willpower, and you never did. Willpower was never actually the problem here. Friction was the entire problem the whole time. The fix is putting a small, deliberate flinch back into the exact moments where you've been quietly bleeding money without ever noticing it happen. Card, broken down by the actual numbers behind everything you just heard. 4 real figures, all from real research, none of them made up to scare you. Look at the APR number especially. That's what happens when the money you didn't feel yourself spend turns into a balance you very much feel. It's what you actually do, starting today, not someday, not next month. Step 1, open your banking app right now and pull up the last 30 days of transactions. Step 2, circle every single purchase under $20. That's exactly where the invisible spending has been hiding this whole time. This takes 5 minutes, and it's the single most useful 5 minutes you'll spend on your finances this month. Step 3, pick one category, food delivery, takeout coffee, whatever hits hardest when you look at that list, and pay for it in cash only for the next 2 weeks straight. Step 4, keep that cash in your actual physical wallet, not folded up behind your phone case where you'll forget it exists. You need to physically watch it get smaller as the days go by. Genuinely it. You're not building a budget spreadsheet you'll abandon in 9 days. You're not tracking every single latte for the rest of your life like it's a punishment. You're just putting the flinch back exactly where your brain used to have it, one category at a time, until it's automatic again. Small, boring, repeatable changes beat big dramatic ones every single time. It isn't evil, and you are not bad with money, no matter what your balance says right now. You just got quietly talked out of noticing, one small tap at a time, for years without ever agreeing to it. Subscribe, because next week I'm showing you the exact number your bank is hoping you never sit down and actually calculate.